Let us start with a fast-developing story in Syria, because Israel has carried out strikes on Syria's military headquarters in Damascus. And also in the last hour, Israel says it's targeted a military site near the presidential palace. Syria's state news agency says at least one person has been killed and 18 injured in the Israeli attacks on Damascus. Well, I want to show you these pictures of a strike caught on Syrian state television. This footage was shared on social media by Israel's Defense Minister, Israel Katz. Well, BBC Verify has confirmed that footage is genuine. The Israel Defense Forces said it launched the airstrikes to stop deadly clashes in the predominantly Druze Sueda province. Syria has condemned Israel's involvement and said the strikes had resulted in the deaths of members of the armed forces and civilians. At least 200 people have been killed since the fighting between Druze militias and Bedouin tribes erupted on Sunday, according to the UK-based monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The NGO also says that Syrian government forces have executed 21 Druze civilians. Well, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has addressed the Druze community in a video message today, urging them not to cross into Syria.
My brothers, the Druze citizens of Israel, the situation in Sueda, the situation in southwestern Syria is very serious. The IDF is operating, the Air Force is operating, other forces are operating. We are acting to save our Druze brothers and to eliminate the regime's gangs. And now I have one request from you. You are citizens of Israel. Do not cross the border. You are endangering your lives, you could be killed, you could be kidnapped, and you are harming the IDF's efforts. Therefore, I ask you, return to your homes. Let the IDF act.
Let's go live to Beirut and to our Middle East correspondent Lina Sinjab, who is across, as I say, this fast-developing story. And Lina, bring us the latest.
Well, this is like the most serious escalation Israeli forces have conducted against the new Islamist government led by al-Shara. The airstrikes targeting the military headquarters in central Damascus in Umayyad Square, where we've seen thousands celebrating the fall of the regime, are sending really strong signals to this government, not only the headquarters, but also close to the presidential palace, we believe. This is a message coming from the IDF, from the Israeli government, that they are serious about their position, not to let this government approach the south of the country where the Druze are populated in Sueda city. Sueda is also very close to the buffer zone of Israel. Israel's forces itself have many Druze community from the Golan Heights. So this is something serious for the Israelis, not only for what they say as protection of the Druze, but what is important for them is that members of jihadi groups that are now part of the official military and part of the official security forces are not present anywhere near the Israeli borders.
Yes.
So this is a clear message coming from the Israeli government to al-Shara himself.
Lina, I said in our main introduction, the Syrians are saying 200 people have been killed since Sunday. Just as you were giving us that answer, that has now been updated to 300. Just remind people who are tuning in why and how this violence has exploded since the weekend.
Well, to go back a little bit, since the fall of Assad, the Druze refused to have any official forces inside their main city, Sueda. Some of the Druze, not all of them, they formed militias and said that they are going to have their own control over the country. Now, this erupted many tension between them and the Bedouins, who are backed by the official forces. On Sunday, tension broke out with clashes and real violence. The government said they're sending in troops of the army and the security to maintain security and stability, but actually some of their own forces committed crimes as well, humiliated and killed many Druze civilians. That's why a ceasefire deal that was achieved yesterday was quickly broken, and now the escalation coming from the Israelis is making the mix even more complicated. It's clear that the Israelis, they don't want any official forces inside Sueda, but that means one thing, is a separation and an autonomy in Sueda, something that the central government in Damascus is refusing, and it's really hard to tell how things are going to move forward after too much blood that is based on sectarian background as well.
Lina, before I ask you the next question, I just want to put onto the screen again what Israel Katz has posted, that video footage of that newsreader in central Damascus. And there you see the major explosion behind her. We know that the IDF have targeted drone strikes and other strikes, both the military headquarters in Damascus and a target they say was close to the presidential palace. But more generally, Lina, we have seen over recent months Israel have a long war in Gaza, the strikes in Lebanon, the strikes in Iran. This is more evidence of Israel flexing their strength in the region, isn't it?
Well, particularly in Syria, this is a government that is really in the making. They have weak army, if we can call it at all army. They have weak security forces. There are new people who are joining in. Israel itself, following the fall of Assad on the 8th of December, for 48 hours, they've attacked over 400 military bases to cripple the power of this country. However, the new government has made it clear that they're not here to make any wars in the region. In fact, there are talks about, behind the scene talks between the Israelis and the Syrians, that there would be some sort of a peace deal brokered by the Americans. Al-Shara's forces, they have no power and no will to fight Israel. But these violations is making not only Al-Shara looks weak, but making the streets very angry, and even a split of views within the Druze community, many of whom don't want to see Israel defending them, and they don't want to be affiliated to the Israelis. So it's really now back to the politics, back to Al-Shara and how we would handle this crisis. We are told that he's about to deliver a public speech in the coming hour or so, so we'll have to wait and see what he's going to say.
Lina Sinjar there in Beirut, thanks very much. And as Lina was talking about the wider politics, of course, the US president has made moves to get closer and to re-establish ties with Syria's new leader, Marco Rubio, just in the last few minutes on these Israeli strikes, saying, quote, hopefully we'll have some updates on the situation a little later. So very much a holding statement from the US Secretary of State. So when there is more from America, as they too watch what is happening with these Israeli strikes inside Syria, inside the capital, Damascus, we will obviously bring you more on that story here on BBC News.